Hi, George Pineda from Chicago too. As an educator and also the folks who spread awareness about the leather community, how can we effectively engage LGBTQ plus allies, meaning everyone, straight or not straight, in a way that promotes inclusivity, deepens their understanding of leather culture, encourage respectful participation, and foster meaningful support for the community's history, value, and ongoing outreach effort? Or have we done it? Or are we all just thinking about the LGBT community? Because, I'm new to this community as well. And, I have my sister-in-law and co-workers that sees me as a leather and they don't know anything about it. And they want to learn about it. Are we reaching out to allies?
So I would say that that work is constantly ongoing. Along with what Louis had spoken about leather vendors having harnesses for women and helping engage. It helps to, again, find that sort of entry point for allies of what may make them comfortable. They may not be kinky, but they may be able to relate in some other way. We aren't all just a kinkster or a leather person. We have multiple facets, and so you could, me as a leather man bond with someone who's not into leather at all because we both like Bridgerton or something, and that starts forming those bridges that then they see you not just as a certain box of something, they see you as a broader human, and that, I think, is what helps make that connection between allies and the LGBTQ community, is the humanity connection.
Connection as well as educating people, just continuing to educate them. My day job as a personal trainer, I'm constantly talking with people and they're always asking what I'm doing outside of work and showing some interest, and I tell them I go to leather events, I'm involved with the leather community, and they slowly start to open up and ask questions about it more and more, and eventually we'll come to some smaller events or just show some support with fundraisers and everything too. So I think it's as well as connecting and educating and just continuing and letting people know, don't be scared to ask those questions and approach us. Just because we're in leather, we're not intimidating. Like, don't be scared of us.
Hello, okay, I thought my mic was on. I started leather flash mobs here, and now Graham helps me with them. And when I started with my sash wife, Mo, she wanted us to be very intentional and put these flash mobs in non-traditional spaces for leather people. So she's very intentional with being in straight spaces and leather and stuff. But we've gone to Dave & Buster's, we've gone to the Domain here in Austin, we've gone to 6th Street. So that's a way, and what's great is people come up and ask questions. When I did have my sash, I had my sash on, and this guy came up and he was like, what's that? And he went back and he was like, that looks cool. And then he left and he comes back and he had Googled the Austin Eagle and saw that award. He's like, congratulations. So you'll be surprised at how people just want to understand or get the information, and they're actually really cool about it. Yeah, you have some assholes out there. Like, I get a lot of assholes asking me about this chain around my neck. But you just doing that's like creating allies in a way by being visible in spaces that we don't tend to. What's another place that we've gone? I mean, we're talking about going to some other places. So a good way is to be fearless and to get in leather and go to the mall or I don't know, things like that. So we make those strides here in Austin to try to get interest in who we are.
I'll also add, when they do come to these spaces, talk to them. Oftentimes, if you ever wandered through as new and just felt so out of place, talk to them. If you see someone's looking around, or if the event has first time, I know over at South Plains we had first time attendee on their badges, so everyone we saw were like, hey, how are you? First time, how's it going? You liking it? and that really making them feel like they can talk to anyone. I realized years ago I had a very different mindset of people. You know, there's this huge biker, dripping in leather, and he was walking into Walgreens. I thought it was my friend Standing Bear, and I ran up to him and went, "Bear!" And he turned around and went, "Oh shit, sorry." And it turned out it was not him, but he smiled, he went, "No problem." And I said, "You look just like a good friend of mine." And he said, "No problem whatsoever," and walked inside. And a lady watching me went, I can't believe you walked up to him. He's so scary looking. So talk to them. You see somebody, reach out. Don't get so involved what you're doing that evening or that event that you don't notice the other people walking around you.
So, and I love your question, by the way. I'm going to take it from a different perspective. So, Beyond Vanilla's been around for 35 years. It was started in the gay community. It was started because of the AIDS crisis. And it became a really hit event. And when the gay community and the rest of the LGBTQ community showed up, they didn't feel as welcome. If they came and showed up, it was like, I'm showing up anyway. And over the last 3 or 4 years, you know, I'm like, we've got to catch a different vision because we're custodians of this, but it's not ours. So how do we reset this table? Because sometimes when the intent is to be an ally, people with privilege, whether it's because of their sexual orientation, their gender, or their color of their skin, tend to make it accommodate to them, not to the people that it was originally meant for. And I literally had to sit in the middle of the hidden door during Onyx socials for months, and they would sit me in the middle, and I would have guys walk by me and go, "Why is this old white woman sitting there?" And it was really uncomfortable. And they'd go ask, and they'd say, and somebody would tell me, a lot of times would come and apologize. But it's okay for us to show up as allies and be made uncomfortable. But as long as you keep sitting there and showing up, take up the space. If you want the space, take up the space. If you want the space, show up. If you want to be an ally, be okay with being uncomfortable, because not everybody has to be kumbaya and make you welcoming. But when you show up without a sash, maybe without even a piece of leather, because I don't have to wear any leather. I'm wearing tennis shoes this weekend. I haven't done that in probably 6 or 7 years at a con. Feels really weird. I'm leather. And I'm here for this community, no matter how you identify. And I'm lucky enough, without a title, being involved, being at a place where I can make a place at the table for you, but you're gonna eat what I serve for dinner with everybody else. And if we can all have that mentality with each other and say, I love your stash, it's beautiful. Start setting the table. Wash the dishes. You don't have a title? Go sit at the head of the table. It's about where the seat's available and what you can do and the passion. And I hope that people will show up and do that in the community, and those of us who have the ability and the privilege, that we give everybody the opportunity to serve where they're willing and where their passions are.
Anyone else?
I think what I'll add is, you specifically mentioned with the straight community, and I spend no time doing that, to answer your question directly. I just don't. Because as I look at our own community, there is so much need within our own community that's really where I spend my time. You may recall I mentioned I have very limited time, and so I spend it really focused on our own community and being an ally for those that, you know, the way I view it is there's a hierarchy of who we should be prioritizing during these times. And, you know, for me, it's, you know, trans women of color, you know, trans people are under attack, immigrants, undocumented people. So there's a hierarchy, and for me, that's where I want to focus. You know, being an ally sometimes it's a talking point for people, quite frankly, and I hear it often. And when I ask, what are you doing about it? Sometimes I don't get an answer because there's no work behind it. So being an ally is really about doing work. First, the internal work. If something's making you uncomfortable about what somebody says, doing that internal work, and then doing the work to create the space for others. You know, I attended a panel yesterday, and it was about trans people on stage, trans and non-binary people, and even sitting there, I'm immediately asking myself, what else can I do? I'm not going up to the trans people and saying, hey, what do you think I should do? I have to do the work myself, because it's in the work for me, it's not in the talk, and that's why, you know, when I was asked, and thank you for asking me to be part of this panel, I'm somebody that doesn't have a title, but I am somebody that does the work. And I think that's the important part that we talk about today, is the work that we get to do, because that's really where we can make a difference.